Mike and Haley Jones always knew they wanted more than 2 children, but they never imagined having 10. 2 years ago, the Franklin couple, who then had 2 young boys, set out to adopt a child from Africa. They discovered that child had 7 other siblings, and the family began the long process of adopting all 8 of them. Now they're known as the Jones Dozen. Mike and Haley write about their heart-wrenching 34-month journey to bring home their 8 children from Sierra Leone in the book that's called At Any Cost. We're delighted to welcome them to today's Talk of the Town. So nice to meet you both.
Nice to be here.
What a fascinating story this is. I can't imagine, you know, I have my hands full with 2 kids or 2 grandkids, but gosh, 10 children. Wow.
Busy. It's busy.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's
Yes.
got to be. Tell us how this process all started. So you started to adopt one child. When you discover there's 7 brothers and sisters, how can you leave them behind, right?
Yeah, it's important. They're family, so we're not going to split them up. We've got to keep them together. So definitely, it was never a thought to adopt some and not the other.
But why was the process so long? It was almost 3 years, right, Mike?
Yes, we had to, first of all, there was a hold on adoptions at the time, and so we had to work through that process and work with some other couples and get that process started again. And then being a third world country, there's government officials that are in and out just frequently, and we had to work through that, as well as just we had 3 lawyers through the process just trying to get the adoption done.
That had to be so difficult because you'd already decided that these 8 children were your family.
Yes.
And you were going back and forth from Sierra Leone in Africa to here, feeling this pull, you know, between them and your family here as well.
Yes. No matter where we were, sometimes I was there weeks at a time, sometimes months at a time, but no matter what country I'm in, I'm apart from my children.
Yeah.
And so it was a heart-wrenching journey for us, for them, for everybody.
Yeah.
So we were just so thankful when they were finally able to come home.
Can you explain the joy of the day you brought them home?
I don't even have words for
Yeah.
it. Just being on that last flight from Washington, D.C. to Nashville, I could have just exploded.
Yeah.
It was such an excitement and such a joy because it's like all the pain and all the heartache, like we've come full circle now. We're finally home and ready to start just the next chapter of our lives together.
Yeah, and what a chapter that is. You've got kids now from age 6 to 17, right?
Yes.
And the ones from Sierra Leone, I had to learn a new culture, a new language, just a new way of living. What's that process been like?
Well, they had to learn English is their 3rd language, and so they had the language that they spoke in their village, and then when they were in the orphan care center, they had to learn the native language of most of the folks in the country in Sierra Leone, and then they started in school learning English, very basic, and so when they came home, there was definitely some barriers there, but we worked through those, and they've come a long way educationally wise in 2 years. So.
Yeah. Soccer for your kids has really broken a lot of barriers.
Yes.
Because that's something they had in common with American kids.
Yes, soccer has been huge. 9 of the children play soccer. They're good at it, they love it, they're dedicated to it, and it's been a good family event for us. You know, we kind of make it just a whole family event, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Your 2 biological kids, how have they adapted to having this giant family?
Oh, Tucker, he's our youngest, and he doesn't necessarily remember them not being here,
Right.
because he was 1 when we started the process, and we would Skype with them every week and send letters of what was going on with the family, and so they've always had that communication going on, and so he's very familiar with who they were. And with Tyler, he's our oldest biological son, and he had to adjust with, you know, sharing everything in the household, but he's more than welcomed him into our home, and glad he has all the playmates and friends.
Yeah, this is such an amazing story. I wish we had more time to talk about all of it. You're going to have to read this book because it really is inspiring and it gives you a lot of hope. It's really wonderful. Thank you all so much for being with us.
Thanks for
We
having
really
us.
appreciate it. Best of luck to you. The book is called At Any Cost. You can meet Mike and Haley at a book signing this Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Barnes & Noble in Cool Springs. Please go out and meet them. Now